You want to talk more about that childhood trauma?
Yeah, it it can. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna try to start in order, I guess, in time. Um, my parents both have trauma in ways that I don't feel like they really understand, and it ended up damaging me. Really, my mom's side, but their lifestyles after their childhood is what really altered my life. My dad being a kingpin, my mom being a young girl that got forced to drop out to take care of her first child. I'm her second child. You meet a guy that has all this money, they can take you different places, they can take care of you, that's providing for you. All you have to do is you do these simple tasks or whatever, you have everything you want. Whatever their issues were, whether it was before me and during my infant stage and toddler stage, it was all over money. Everything is over money. I was telling my wife, God gave me this revelation the other night. Everything that we suffer to this day is behind a dollar. And that's why when I first started speaking, like, he gave us the world. We didn't need to work, really. But now that we have to pay to live, we have what we
Well,
have.
didn't we need to work the land?
Work the land, but that's not what we have now, though. That's different. It's a different type of labor.
Would you say we would rather work the land or work the 9 to 5 on on a desk? Like I think you can keep the spirit of both.
Yeah, you can keep the spirit of both if everybody can provide for each other. But I'm glad you bring that up because I can break that down for you more. But everything was behind a dollar realistically because my dad was a kingpin. His
Right,
life
right.
and safety is based on the dollar. My mom's happiness and her the way she can take care of me and my older brother was behind the dollar. My dad taking care of his family, having things he wanted, the stuff he wore, the things he had was behind a dollar. My mom's clout at the time it was because of a dollar. My dad's restaurant, all this stuff. You look good
Mm.
because of how much money you have. You separate that, there's nothing from that person really, and we tend to destroy our lives behind that. And to get back on track with me, they had issues, and my dad that source of income to my mom. That's when that custody battle stuff started going on. It's just a lot of bad stuff, and my mom would be with guys she's with, and my dad had my stepmom. Whoever they're with long term is going to have their opinions about that situation, whether they don't know what's going on. My stepmom didn't really know what was going on with my parents. She did, but I was still treated differently. The way I was spoke to was differently. Like not being fed. I can't even think about why I wasn't fed that night, for example. Something my stepmom did. And my dad he was on a trip, taking care of business, and he was on his way back. She didn't feed me that whole day. I'm young. Toddlers need to eat. They need to snack. They gotta have something constantly going in their mouth, whether it's something little, something to drink, because they're moving around, burning that stuff off. If you allow your child to have fun, I'm in the same clothes. I fall asleep hungry. She's doing whatever she's doing, and I go to bed. I cry myself to sleep. It's like 4 or 5 in the morning. My dad's almost back. He calls her. I remember him saying, "You better feed my son." I still remember that. He had to teach her how to cook, and it was the banquet beef stroganoff. She couldn't even make. She didn't even make that right. It was the meatballs were still kind of frozen. Some of it was cooked, some of it was cold. I'm like, I don't even want this. I'm getting smacked around. Eat that, eat that. You're being told when you go into Arkansas, back and forth to California, Arkansas, you got your family. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so handsome. I had a long hair at the time. But when I'm with the family outside of my biological family, the treatment is different. because of those issues. Whatever my stepmom is saying, telling her side of the family. What did it have to do with me? I don't know. Why do I have to get kicked out of a car and everybody goes to go pick up her sister and it's raining and my dad's somewhere and I don't know?
Because she kicked you out of a car. How old were you?
I was like 5. Everybody got in the car to go pick her sister up. It was a Crown Vic, I believe. It was an older model. Her grandma was driving. My great grandmother. My stepmom. My big sister. And my little brother. And they're like, oh, your dad's going to be back. And you're in a cul-de-sac. It's starting to rain. I'm crying. Broke down. Just outside. And like for some reason, nobody in the apartment complexes was home. Like being in California, you know, like everybody's living in an apartment complex more likely. So you know somebody in that apartment complex. Nobody was home. And it's getting dark. I'm like, it's a lot of stuff. It's the reason why my hair was cut off, because she couldn't do hair. Tell your folks you want to cut your hair off, or I'm gonna cut it off. Like, you not my kid. Here it's like, I want to call her mom and she treats me right, and then something deep and then it's like, just call her the nickname I was calling her, because she just keeps doing me dirty. And that's when I started to resort to violence. And people don't understand that. Me looking like a girl and being around people I shouldn't be around, being touched, you start feeling a certain way, or you start acting a certain way. And then people will call you gay as a toddler or growing up. They don't know what was going on with you. You know it's wrong. You're like, I'm not acting like that. You try to shake it off. You want to be as normal as possible, but you got all this stuff going on. And your parents wouldn't believe it if you told them. And that's the issue I had growing up. Nobody believed. If I told my mom I was sad, oh, that's a demon. Yeah, maybe, but how can I get that demon out of me? Because I'm watching you basically be the same way. You're not fighting out of anything. You're telling me how to live. You're preaching a word to me, but you're not living it. But back to when I was younger, it's like I had a lot of that going on, to the point where I'd be pushed or thrown against something and break it. My stepmom used to fuck me up. And I don't even want to not curse, but I just got to say that she used to fuck me up. And my dad would be like, what did you do? And I'll have to lie for her, to the point where my lying started. I was lying for her. So I would get fucked up by my dad to defend. I was more scared of her than I was of my dad. And I'm still scared of my dad as an adult. Not like I am of God, but like of flesh. I remember who my dad is. Like, people know my dad. And then people begin to know me. Oh, you're bad. To the point where my friends, right before I left San Diego, my friends' parents, they wouldn't allow them to hang out with me, because I'm trying to be associated in the set. I'm young. I'm trying to be a crash dummy. I want money in my pocket. I want to hurt people because I'm being hurt. And that's some of the stuff God showed me, some of the stuff I hid from myself. Like, it's not your fault, but it's your fault if you don't change it. You can change. He keeps showing me this. And I'm like, okay, I know what's wrong. And he keeps guiding me.
What was the... So you have your stepmom,
Yeah,
who was very abusive,
mm-hmm.
and then your dad was also abusive,
I wouldn't.
or more physically abused.
Yeah, he was more of the physical discipline. Like, I told you not to do this.
It wasn't that much of a emotional abuse from your dad, but from your mom, it was the physical abuse and the emotional abuse.
Yeah,
which makes it more, it hurts the heart a lot more.
Yeah, man.
And then you said that you were also sexually.
Yeah, that's some shit that just recently like started to come again. When you feel like he's pulling you out of that pit, the enemy is gonna try to pull you back by stuff that cripples you. I was
Yeah.
so depressed when we last spoke. When I did the first interview, I couldn't even really look up, and I saw how chained down I was. That was one of those things that started coming back. Those memories that will make you just it paralyzes you. It's like, oh yeah, that did happen to me.
Do you want to talk about that?
Not really. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna take that to the grave.
Have you talked to your wife about it?
Just a little bit, because God is gonna deal with them accordingly when their day of judgment comes. But it's not my. I let it go, but it's some fucked up shit that you know.
Do you think that you should talk to someone about it?
Yeah, I have been, but I gotta.
You have a therapist?
No, I gotta get a new one.
Okay.
That's like, because I just recently got officially, what is it? Diagnosed with PTSD.
Yeah.
So, starting to identify those things. Okay, if I'm tearing up over that, I need to go,
Yeah.
talk about that.